Well, welcome to the podcast. Nathan Newberry here, your host. Super pumped to have our guest, Brandon Forbes, here joining us. You guys are going to love his conversation with some tactics around building and growing a coaching business. And then also just talk about his life story because he has a really unique one that you guys are going to love. So, and then stay toward the end too, because we're going to really dive into some tactics around how to grow your coaching business that I think you're going to really love and eat up. So make sure to stay on till the end. If you haven't liked and subscribed, make sure to do that. I also want to give you a gift down below for all our listeners here. There's so many times people struggle to even know how to do ads, start running ads, or know how to build sales teams, know how to do sales right. And so I put together a whole free workshop down below in the show notes that you need to check out before we jump in so that you can really be able to get some really good help. So it's my gift to you, Brandon. As we dive into the podcast here, I want to just ask you, what is high performance? What does that look like? What does that mean to you? How do you apply that to your life?
Yeah, dude. High performance, I believe, means operating at your God-given standard and potential. And, right out of the gate, I'll just kind of go on that flow. I try not to talk about the Lord. It's actually my mission on some podcasts to try and talk about business without intertwining the Lord, but it's almost impossible. So I believe that's what high performance is. And some people could say it's a supercar or $1 million month or something like that. But to me, at the foundation of it, it's just doing what God tells you to do.
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that, but most time people don't follow that, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Tell us a little bit about how you help serve people, man.
Yeah, bro. So just a super high level, quick background. I got into ads. Used to suck at ads. I hated ads actually, and was a part of a coaching program that only taught organic. And then I realized that this is the slowest way to actually, build a coaching business, in my opinion, unless you're super connected or, have a big audience already or happen to go viral. So what I did was I basically, long story short, prayed, and I just believe the Lord gave me this idea for a funnel that didn't include pixels. You didn't have to set up a website. It didn't cost a lot of money to start, and it actually grew your organic following. And I tried it, and it crushed. So basically, I help coaches scale with ads in a nutshell.
Love it, man. I love it. Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as that, but people are fearful of it. Yeah. You're married, you have kids. Bring us back to the beginning of all of this too, because it's your journey wasn't just starting off of ads, you were doing some other things too. And all the while this journey, your family was going through these struggles with you as well, up into the success that you've been able to build so far too.
Yeah, bro. So I'll just do a quick elevator pitch backstory of kind of the journey. So grew up, super great house. Parents were pretty well off. Stepdad, so my parents got divorced when I was younger. Stepdad had a really good job. Messed his leg up when I was 13, playing football with us at one of my birthday parties. Had some pretty gnarly surgeries. Got addicted to pills. Both him and my mom lost their job. Ended up going from drinking to smoking to cocaine all the way to meth, bro.
Wow.
In and out of jail, and literally our family was kind of destroyed. So I moved in with my grandparents, and I was dude, I'm never gonna be like them. And turns out I turned into a total pothead, drinking, sneaking out, all the things in high school. And dude, at 17, I went to jail on the night of homecoming. Not for anything crazy, but just smoking weed. And the cop decided to take us to jail. And the next day, it was pretty crazy because, dude, just being real, I was playing drums at church during that season. So the church drummer goes to jail for smoking pot. I was a total lukewarm believer. And yeah, so I was rock bottom. I had basically this encounter with this dude at the gym. He was tatted up, crushing the weights out. And he was like, dude, there's a call of God on your life. You should come to church with me. And I was like, bro, like a dude with tattoos. Like I grew up kind of religious, if you will. So I went, had an encounter with the Lord, felt called to ministry, maybe similar to your story. Went to Bible college, and then started to feel a call for business. Dude, I had a pool cleaning company, a guitar pedal board company, a lawn mowing company, drop shipping, Amazon, literally everything you could think of. I tried, and pretty much 95% of it failed. But what it did was I just kept learning, and through this, I met Sarah. We decided to get married, and I didn't have any money, bro. Like when we got married, I think I had $200 after the wedding. So I was cleaning pools and just interning at the church. And one of the dudes at church, just so happens that his mom was Brooke Castillo, which a lot of people don't know who that is, but she owns the life coach school. They did like $50 million a year at the time, and I got a job shipping boxes. So, bro, I was ready to retire just a box logistics coordinator shipping boxes for her students because it was the most money I ever made. And I was like, dude, this is amazing. Like, I'm finally not broke anymore. I can save money and pay off debt and stuff. But as I was working there, I start to really get a vision for what's possible. And I got interested in social media because I was editing my pastor's stuff. And so I basically launched a marketing agency helping Brooke and her clients edit videos with captions underneath them. Like if you remember Gary Vee and Grant Cardone back in the day, like they were like the first few to do that. So started that, scaled to like 15, 20K a month, made 15 to 20K a month and was miserable, but full of pride. So I started doing that. I still had a job. I had like a co-working space that a guy from the church like invested in. So I was making good money, but I was just spinning all these plates and like low key was miserable, was pursuing money over God, and then started drinking. And at first it wasn't like anything bad at all, just like a couple drinks with guys from church. But shortly after, like they would leave and I would just keep drinking. And like by no means was I getting drunk like every day, but you know, once a week, once every other week, I would just get drunk and it turned into a big idol. The Lord basically asked me to shut it all down, move back to my hometown, and become a high ticket closer. So that's what I did, bro. Like literally moved from the city in Dallas all the way back to a small town called Caddo Mills. There are like 6,000 people here. Just sent Nathan a picture of a farm truck driving in front of me because I was a little late to the show because of it. And yeah, bro, the Lord started to work on me. And then that's kind of where some of this came from, was being obedient in that.
And then when you made that transition as a closer, I think that kind of got you into that education space even more too and got you familiar with it. What made that leap then into what you're doing now with coaching coaches?
Yeah, dude. So again, Brooke, she coached coaches. Like she was like a certification for coaches, had more students than anyone I've ever seen. Like she crushed it. And then after that, I basically applied what I learned there to my marketing agency, which my marketing agency was specifically for coaches. So we only worked with women life coaches. Like that was our niche. And most people were asking me like how to make money, not how to edit videos. So I kind of had that in the back of my mind. And I took on a couple coaching clients during that season. But like I said, business became just a total idol to me. So I transitioned into high ticket sales, which coupled my ability to market, right, with actually being good at sales, and caring about people, kind of like you mentioned before, you know, gets you a long way. So I was pretty good at it. And dude, I was like, I'm never going to be in business again. I straight up told my pastor, like, dude, I just accepted this job as a closer. Like, I'm shutting down my businesses. I'm never, you know, going to pursue it again. But 6 months into that job, like a total God story, but this guy who's connected to a church like in Tampa messaged me on Instagram, and we get on a call, and basically we're just going back and forth, like just connecting. And he's like, dude, I feel the Holy Spirit. I'm like, awesome, bro. Like, he's like, dude, I'm going to come to Dallas, bro. And I was like, okay, like we we just met, but I mean, yeah, if you come, like, yeah, we can get lunch, hang out or something. And he booked a flight. We got together, we prayed, and he was like, dude, we're supposed to do a Kingdom Coach Challenge. And he had made 100K in 3 days recently, like right before that call from an online challenge. So we did a challenge. I remember we both put in $5,000 for ads. I put in 2,500. He put in 2,500. And at the time, bro, that was like 25% of my net worth, which was a lot of money to me back then. And I was scared of ads. I was like, there's no way this is going to work. You know, I had worked as a high ticket closer for an organic marketing coach who only taught organic marketing. Don't run ads. So we did it, and we had 12 people, I think, maybe live on the call, but we made $40,000 from the challenge. And that, like, boom, I was like, this is crazy, bro. Like, I can't believe it. So I quit my job, went full time in Kingdom Coach, and then literally within like 2 weeks of that challenge, the IG growth funnel just kind of dropped in my mind, and then it kind of went from there.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. If someone was about to like start and launch, or even know how to like scale, what would you suggest for those coaches?
So not everyone should be a coach.
Yeah.
Right. You actually have to have something you've achieved, helped other people achieve, a skill set or some type of transformation that you've, experienced or helped other people experience. Now, if you do have one, then what I would suggest is niching down, right? Figuring out who you're called to serve. Like literally just, if you're a Christian, maybe you're not, just ask, who is it that I feel called to help, right? And then once you have that, pro tip would be to niche down and target people that have money, because it's a lot easier to sell to people that have money and collect a high ticket fee, right? From there, you need to build a really good offer for those people, basically just helping them go from a pain to an outcome and build a proven process that helps get them there. The person I like to always talk about is Dave Ramsey. Most people forget he's an online coach, right? He has an in-person setup as well, but he sells a coaching program, and it's so proven that people don't view him as a scammer because his process is guaranteed to work. If you spend less than you make, you can take that extra margin and pay off your debt. It's math, right?
Right.
So create a proven process, whether you're a fitness coach, health coach, marketing coach, whatever, that gets people to the result. And from there, you can create an offer to help people get to that outcome, right? So that's like step one, is like your offer. Then from there, find a way to market it. And it's like, Brandon, marketing scares me. Like literally you could write down, are you a single dad struggling with your divorce, on a cardboard piece of paper, and take that to Starbucks and just sit there until a dude walks up to you, right? And then have a conversation with them and show them how you can help, right? So that's what marketing is just calling out the right person to build the next step, which is a sales conversation. And then from there, enrolling them into your program, which doesn't exist yet, most likely, because you don't have a program. You have a one-to-one coaching relationship. So you get 4 or 5 people, build a course, turn it into a group, scale with ads, kind of the flow.
You have a few different funnels that you teach people. One with, Instagram, followers, retargeted ads. You got, the school group. You got the YouTube, funnel. Like, tell us about some of these transitions with working on doing that.
Yeah, dude. So when I first started, it was the Kingdom Coach Challenge, which challenge funnels are awesome. I view them more as like an organic nurturing piece now. You definitely can get cold traffic with them for sure. So you've got the challenge funnel. Quickly we realized, though, there was a faster, more profitable, sustainable way, which was the IG growth funnel. And dude, like, that's the funnel that really set me apart in a big way. Again, like it's crazy. Nobody was doing it. Basically, I boosted a reel at the time. Reels had just came out. I clicked boost. Followers started pouring in. And I'm not smart enough to think of this stuff, but I also have never learned a funnel from someone that actually worked. It's always been me throwing stuff at the wall and kind of figuring it out myself. I just learned that way.
Mm.
So it's like, okay, I'm getting followers. What if I said, hey, are you an online coach struggling with marketing that wants to turn attention into money, right? If so, give me a follow here on Instagram. Go through all my content where I show you guys how, I did X, Y, and Z. And then, bro, it was like, if I knew what I knew now, it would have like been nuts. But I wasn't, the best at building a team back then. A lot of things I had to learn along the way. But nonetheless, like the floodgates opened. Thousands of followers were pouring in for such a cheap cost. And then, yeah, bro, we started teaching people that, the follower ad funnel. And then we launched like retargeting ads. And that crushed. That got us to our first 200K month. And I've been doing like 150, 200, from that funnel. And then as people know, like competition, skyrockets, people start copying your ads, teaching the same thing. I probably had like 30 people join the program, take the same framework, apply it to their own offer and start teaching, which is what happens when you come up with something new. But after that, I still have the IG growth funnel running right now. But after that, dude, I'm going to tell another quick story. Just
Love it. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have drank this energy drink. But
I love it,
the
man.
school
Bring it.
funnel. So, dude, we won the school games. And that was a total God thing for me. I'll just tell it. You're a Christian, so
yeah.
Some people might think I'm nuts because I used to think people that talk like this were absolutely nuts. But I had this dream in January, bro. And I don't dream usually or remember them. I had this dream that I was with Alex at a whiteboard. And I was like, dude, first of all, I don't listen to enough of his stuff to be thinking about this dude in my sleep. And two, it was too vivid to like not be some type of God dream, right? So that was in January. Fast forward, the school games launch. And then March 31st of 2024, I was like, bro, I'm going to play in the games. So we took our old program, Kingdom Coach, put it on school, and then, competed and then won the games. Flew to Vegas. I'm the only person there not blackout drunk in Vegas, right? And I get hit with sickness the night before the mastermind, like couldn't sleep, was throwing up. It was terrible, bro. So next day, here I am at a whiteboard with Alex, okay? And I feel like crap, dude. I'm like sitting away from everybody, like just kind of ducked off to myself, not really talking. And I was thinking the whole time, I was like, dude, I didn't get crap out of this. Like I just flew to Vegas, competed in the games. I had this dream. Why am I here? Like just, that was kind of my mindset. And it was still a good event. Don't get me wrong. I just felt horrible. So fast forward, I went home. I was like, all right, well, I thought I was going to get like this major breakthrough in my business to go to the next level. And about a month later, I realized that instead of running traffic to a paid community, I could literally just do what I was doing on Instagram. So I literally said, hey, are you an online coach? If so, here's my notes from the school games or whatever. And I'm putting them for free inside of my free school group for everyone who joins. So what I want you to do is click the link down below, join my free school group, and I'll see you inside. And then, here's the ad training we use to like get followers on Instagram. See you inside. And so that funnel has been crushing for us. And we've got almost 13,000 free school group members.
Amazing.
And then, I post on YouTube twice a week. So that's basically the funnels, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So just coming up with this stuff is just trial and error. When you had told me something before that the higher quality leads are actually coming from YouTube right now. Is that still the same thing right now, where people are kind of taking more time to listen to you and engage in the content, and that's what's kind of helping build that?
100%. So Instagram is great. It's like really good top of funnel, but if you're going to use Instagram, you have to get them into some type of long form asset, whether that's your VSL, your YouTube channel. But if you were like asking me, Brandon, you could have unlimited calls from like one source, what would it be? YouTube. 1,000,000%. Like they're your biggest fans. They watch your stuff. And I would imagine a podcast would be right under. just because the long form content is king. Like you can't beat it with short form. I kind of view short form as the top of the funnel to get them into the long form. But yeah, YouTube, I will say that school is a close second because it kind of combines the Instagram chat features, being able to talk to people, Facebook, like posting, right? Of like posting in groups, and YouTube, because I literally just put my YouTube videos in my school group. So it's kind of a combination of, a few different things. So school is definitely amazing, but again, YouTube is untouchable. It's the best.
How has email been able to help? Has that been a facet of nurturing and getting more booked calls or closing deals?
Yeah, so I used email. Again, most people, have their own philosophies, and maybe they're better. Definitely could be better. But for me, I like to just do what feels right to me. So I run ads on Instagram, I run ads on school, I run ads on YouTube, right? And then I post content all those places to serve people. And then my email list, I get their emails. Basically, emails for me are every week we do a Monday Bible study that I email people about. Every week I send out the YouTube video that I posted in an email and tell people to go watch the YouTube video. I'll invite people to my free school group, invite them to follow me on Instagram, send out like an encouragement. But I don't really ever pitch calls on email. That's more just for me to like kind of point them and keep them in the content flows. So yeah, it's definitely been a big piece for sure. But in the sense of like drip campaigns and all that, I've never fully went in the weeds. I haven't seen them work too much for me. I'm sure they do, but yeah, I just use it as a resource to kind of get people back into valuable content.
Well, what does your team look like right now?
Yeah, so I had a bunch of different iterations. Like I had a big team when I first started. Margins were down. So then I had a small team, which was literally me, a client success manager, and then a closer / setter that did both. And profit margins were like super high. But it wasn't like a team that was scalable, right? So I feel like the impact we were making wasn't as great as it could have been. Now I'm kind of back in the bigger team flow just because I have a bigger vision this year to really just help more people, do more live events, serve people better. So we've got a client success manager for the scale program, client success manager for the start program, 2 closers, 2 setters, and then video guy in person with me, and then a video editor online.
That's a good sized team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you used a VA to help you with managing anything from personal things like a house manager or helping you with emails or mail or any coordination of that sort?
No, but crazy enough, I'm actually chatting with one right now. She just messaged me. So yeah.
That's been a game changer for me.
Did you use one?
Yeah, an executive assistant. And then I'm working on getting like a house manager too to kind of help do some of this stuff, like go get groceries or a few different extra things. I think there's like layers of, I don't think that as like luxury. I think of it as like being really focused on being able to prioritize the time that is most efficient on things that God's given us the ability to do and focus on. And those things just kind of burn me out and I hate it. And I'm like, gosh, why am I don't know. It's been interesting, but it's been a game changer. For sure.
100%, bro. I like at our house, we have a house cleaner.
Yeah.
That comes. She like does an incredible job. Like anyone listening who makes enough money to pay someone to clean your house, like highly recommend it. But I've been telling my wife, I'm like, we need somebody to do our laundry. Like, why are you still doing the laundry? And she's like 8 months pregnant, and then we have a kid, and like can get behind on it, and like we have church, we have all this. It's like, bro. So I 100% agree with you.
Yep. Let me ask you some tactical questions here. When should you hire your first person? I'm sure you get asked that sometimes. When's that a good time?
So what I teach people to do, and again, it depends on like the methodology behind like how you're running your business, but let's just say you're an online coach, you're booking in sales calls, and you've got traffic coming from somewhere. My belief is basically the first hire should be an appointment setter, right? Because essentially your highest level task in the beginning should be creating content. Like that's going to make you a lot of money, and having sales calls is going to make you a lot of money, right? And then at the beginning, you can't hire a setter, most likely, because you don't have any traffic. So it's like you have to solve that problem first. Once you get people coming in, then you can turn up the ads, get a setter in there. Now you're packed out with coaching calls and sales calls, and then keep selling, keep scaling the ads, bring on a client success manager so you can buy back more of your time to focus on the most important task, which is sales, again, as far as creating cash, right? And then sell until, right, your time is maxed out again, and you're making enough money to bring on a closer to where they are incentivized, and then boom, hire a closer. And then basically just focus on marketing.
I feel like the biggest hurdle that many people have is like, okay, I know I need to create content, but when, where, how, when do I do call to actions? Do I just do value? Talk about your strategy with that.
Yeah. So what I do is I post 1 to 2 YouTube videos a week, all value or client interviews. And at the end, there's a CTA to either join the free school group or book in a call. Every time I post one of those, I send an email telling people about it, right? I post about that YouTube video in the school group, and then I put that video ideally on my story as a CTA, like, hey, new YouTube video. Then throughout the week, I'll post a CTA on my story almost every day with like client screenshots, client wins, things like that. Like a 2-step, like, hey, here's a new asset I made. Send me the word VSL to get it. And then I'll post a reel 3 to 5 a week. I'm sure that could be better. But yeah, dude, that's basically the flow. And then every day in school, we do some type of CTA.
In school with CTA, is that like you're saying hand raisers to get people from the free group into your paid service?
Yeah, or usually to get them into a conversation. Got it. Like comment the word down below to get an asset, or we're bringing on like X amount people this week. Send me the word blah, blah, blah. If you're interested, things like that. Yeah.
Are you doing any cold outreach at all?
Not right now.
Because I know like the 4 core that Alex Ramosi talks about is, paid ads and then content, right? Which you're doing really a lot of. And then you got the warm outreach and cold outreach, which essentially you are creating some warm outreach with some hand raisers as well. But cold outreach, I was just wondering if you're doing some of that yet.
Not right now, but I know somebody who is. Andy Elliott, bro. I'm getting messages from those guys like every other day. Like, yo, I'm on Elliott Army. Like, nice to meet you, bro. I'm like, dang, dude, they're going hard with it for sure.
Yeah. Dude, this has been so amazing to catch up with you, Brandon, and hear kind of your strategies and insights. How can people follow you and connect with you further?
Yeah, Instagram would be great. I am Brandon Forbes, or YouTube.
Amazing. I'll put that link down in the show notes. Brandon, thanks again for joining us. Again, if you haven't got a chance to go check out that workshop down below, go do that. That's going to be really helpful for you as you're growing and scaling your coaching business. Brandon, thanks again. Thanks for listening and tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.